Welcome back to Nerd Thug Radio. I'm the Captain Joey Savage.
Corey DLG.
Nico DLG.
Listen to us on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1,
Sister Stations.
and worldwide at
IRLoneStar.com.
We got our pal Howard Brock, the 2017 World Hero Clix champion, joining us for another segment here.
You're shorting him there. He's got too many slashes.
He does.
You gotta include ROC owner.
Owner of the ROC, owner of the Lucky Dice Cafe.
Right. I like the name Lucky Dice Cafe.
That's a good one.
Are you like really like bombshell themed heavy? Like it feels like that would be like a 1950s like rockabilly kind of themed thing. Is it?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think we're very.
You missed it. You missed
I
it
think
totally.
it's more modern. Yeah. It's more. It's more conventional. It's pretty. It's really bright. Lots of rooms. It's real spacious. Clean. I'm very adamant about things being clean.
So it's clean and well lit. Who wants that? That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
That sounds.
You know what? I'm actually going to Alabama this week, and I'm contemplating making a pit stop, even though it's 2 hours out of the way.
Yeah, that'd be.
Lucky Dice Cafe.
That's a heck of a pit.
I'm still thinking about it.
Okay. All
I
right.
will.
Go ahead.
If you come by, the meal's on me.
Hey,
Look at that.
I'm coming.
That's free food. He's wearing a bear suit right now, and
Got
that's
it.
just because he's fat and hungry. He will be there.
So Howard, here recently, right after the World Championships and stuff, a lot of the rules have just gone over a major overhaul with HeroClix. Have you played? Obviously you've probably played in some of the tournaments since the new rules. Do you think the game is going in a better direction with these new rules, or do you think it was okay the way it was?
The game's always evolved and always changed, and everybody's always resistive to change. But if I go back and I look over time, every change that has ever occurred has been good.
I love that.
I mean, I've been there since the beginning, and so I think that all of these changes are good. I'm watching new players play, and I mean, I miss some things. We all do, but I mean, it's they're minute. I think the game is still functionally the same with just some slight twists. I'm happy with all the changes.
Yeah, these guys are too young. They don't know. There was a time when there weren't Oreo bases, and when there weren't special powers. There was a time when everyone could only do the same 7 things. So the game has definitely changed a ton over the past 8 to 10 years.
Oh, definitely.
I remember crying when they had the first retirement. I mean, I was terribly upset. Couldn't understand it, but now, now when retirement comes around, when they cycle through, I'm totally happy. I'm like, oh God, that stuff is gone.
It's a relief. Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's a relief when stuff's gone, but then it's also cool because then you see some pieces. What I've always found is you see some pieces that are, when you get to the retirement, that haven't been played in the previous one. Now all of a sudden those pieces, even though they've been around a while, now they've kind of elevated themselves up, and you're starting to see those more, and it's got there's always a good mix. It's always evolving with that retirement, and I at first when I heard about retirement, I was like, what is this? And I can't play my favorite guy anymore. And then I was like, oh wait, this is actually kind of cool because I don't have to play that guy anymore.
Right. We got rid of Super Scroll and then this thing
and the batteries and everything. Right. So yeah, I definitely think that stuff is good for the health of the game.
Now Howard, you are you're kind of a unique guy because not only are you obviously owner of the ROC, but you're one of its more successful players over the span here, like career-wise. Now that you're the sole owner, have you given any thought to kind of how Magic does things, where they talk about like a Hall of Fame or retirement or even like a permanent entry into the finals kind of idea, anything like that? Have you given any thought to like the storied players such as yourself and even your son? Like, have you thought about what kind of futures you can do now that you're in total control of that?
Recently, I would say that's not been something that's been on my mind, but I have always thought about a Hall of Fame of sorts where we could take. There's some players out there that are not as well known, and some that are really well known, and it'd be nice to have a little Hall of Fame, so to speak, a little page where we have people that have either done some great things for the game, and they're all just players either. I mean, there's some people. Some of the people that are in the design field, some of the people that have, there's some judges I would nominate that have just done some extraordinary work and continue to do some work in HeroClix that have made our lives a whole lot easier. And then So it's not just that, but yeah, I've thought about that. It's not something that I've went through and said we should do, but yeah, it's an interesting thought. I'd love to hear feedback from the community and what they thought about that.
Like a Legends or something like
Get their
that.
plaque and just hang it up in the Lucky Dice Cafe,
Something.
like they do in bowling alleys, like the 300 Club, but it's
Yeah,
the Hall of Fame of Clix, and
Like
it's
the
just all over the
Legends,
place.
just
Yeah,
the people who like you invite like one or two every year. Yeah, that'd be something. Now let me ask you this, because this is something you talk about the community. The community is an internet-based community, so there's always that vocal minority who kind of comment and talk about things, not necessarily always in a positive way. Do you ever? How does it affect you when they talk about like your relationship with The Rock and then your kid's success, your son's success, Easton's success?
People that say that, I mean, I've heard things before, and I think that I'd look more at who it's coming from, because if most of the people that have those negative things to say are not even playing at all, and no matter what we did would still not be playing. People that know me, people that are around my son, people that actually interact with us in tournaments and where we go and where we play, would never even think anything like that. Because first of all, even if I'm kind of the opposite, and when my son is playing and maybe I'm running the tournament, I will not judge my son. I will not judge that game. Somebody else will have to do it, because I don't want to be in a situation where it could even be thought to be biased. And same deal with when we go to. We've never had an incident where that's come up. Where it's been thought that there was something going on, and it's just we go out of our way. We would rather, if there was any doubt that if there was something was brought to the forefront, we would back down and say, okay, fine, we won't. You're right, we won't do this. We're very, very sensitive to that. So if the community, if the people that were playing and that knew us, if that came out and I heard vocalization from them, then I would be concerned about it. But the people that I hear it from or that I see it from, it's a small community. It's people that's not even playing. It's people that don't even attend the events.
yeah. Every time I go on HC Realms for the tournaments, any kind of negative feedback is always from players who don't even play tournaments. They're not even tournament players, and so it's like, why? I mean, why are you even chiming in? Like, if you're not even participating in the meta industry of this game, like
they have an opinion on the internet.
Yeah,
what do you mean?
Right.
Yeah, it gets super annoying.
Al Gore made the internet so that people who don't do anything can have opinions about it. Well, no, and I just, I wanted to give you that opportunity to kind of express it, because I feel like you don't, even though you are such a prominent figure, you don't necessarily, people don't hear from you so much. So I wanted to give you that chance to kind of address it, because it is something that comes up from time to time where it's like, well, of course they won, but I don't want you to think.
Of course they won, because they're great players.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's the kind of
because they're good, not because they own it.
Right.
I mean, Easton's kind of been on a pretty legit run these past couple of years. I know he hasn't won the big ones, but he's been in like the final four of like the last, two major events? I'm not mistaken?
We were one game and probably one missed call from playing each other at the World Championships. I don't know if anybody knows.
He did.
I watched all of that. And then was it he was the ROC, I think, too, right? Where wasn't he top four on that one, too? Second? Yeah. So I mean,
he was second, too. Yeah.
So wait, all right. Well, here's the question then. Here's the question, Howard. This is important. Who wins, you or Easton? Does Papa take him to the woodshed?
There was a long stretch where Easton couldn't beat me, but he beats me pretty regular now. And but that I think that it could go either way. Easton's a great player, and but people that know me, that I'm very competitive, but I don't spend the time and energy that I used to play the way I'm more of a. I'm not going to say I'm a total fun player, but I play what I want to play, and I don't. When I'm ready when it's the event's important enough to me, I'll put the time in. And when I put the
He's
time
turning
in,
into LeBron James here.
Yes.
yeah,
LeBron
anything can
James.
happen.
When he's turning into LeBron James here, he's like, I'll turn it on about April. I'll kick it in, and we'll just go through the playoffs.
That's kind of the way that it is. During the year, I can go to a tournament and I will build a competitive team, but it's not necessarily. I shy away from playing the stuff that everybody hates, I guess is one way to put it. I don't really
the super meta, the cheesy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm always
yeah.
trying to come up with something a little unique that's different than
That's me too.
what everybody's playing.
That's actually all of us. But I will say this: I gotta brag about my little brother here. He actually made a state's championship top 8, and he was the only guy not playing a resource at all.
That was what, 3 years ago?
3 years
Well,
ago.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was we try and be a little innovative here for the Nerd Thug representation, but you're Howard Brock, so when you get in there, you got to beat up on those little kids. You got to make them fear you. Dunk on somebody,
I don't
man.
take it that serious.
Well, Howard, we want to say thanks for joining us for these segments, and wish you the luck. And I'm probably going to take you up on that food offer this next week. And just as
I
we
hope so.
as we go out here, I would just like to say that we're glad that you and Easton have never joined Team Ragnarok. You're listening to Nerd Thug Radio. We're coming back. We'll get into our weekly top 3.